Today on the show, Radical Ones, we continue our video game summer with the first episode of the Super Mario Super Show from 1989.
Like our model says, the customer is always wet.
It's time to get radical.
It has begun!
This is where I start to have fun.
Well, excuse me, princess.
My name is Alice. I work for the Umbrella Corporation.
The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Fatality.
Shadow Demon, you shall not pass.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
Finish him.
Welcome back, Radical Ones, to a new episode of the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with everyone's favorite brother, David, for a new episode of the show. Welcome back, David.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you. And I'm excited to be here for this, our latest summer installation. What are we deeming our summer? We've had the Summer of the Dead. We've had
summer camp, where we did every Friday the 13th, and we did Sword and Sorcery Summer.
So our summer theme this season, or this year, is, drum roll please.
Originally, I was thinking we should call it 8-bit, which is a reference to, of course, like the
summer.
Nintendo. Exactly. But since we're doing beyond that, it is going to be video game summer. This gives us a wide range because there's horror video games, but there's also action, adventure, and Mario. Oh, I guess it comes back to Mario, right?
Well, gee, princess.
And of course, we are a retro podcast. What are some of your favorite video games, David, for the Radical Ones that don't know?
Okay, super retro would be original Nintendo.
Yes.
Obviously, Zelda. Obviously, the original Super Mario Brothers. Spy Hunter. Rygar.
Oh, which you finally beat years ago. Yes. Remember that?
I still don't know how I did it because it made no sense to me. I mean, there's a whole bunch. Icarus, there's a few like bizarro ones. I absolutely used to love. Yes, Athena. I used to love playing the X-Men and I think you actually talked about this in another episode.
The arcade one, that X-Men arcade game.
So I love the X-Men arcade game. Used to love that. Friday the 13th, even though again some of the stuff made no sense to me.
You and your friends are dead. Now, David, I feel like that game. And I said this to Rob again on another episode. You know that ducking mechanism? It was like Punch Out almost, like with Jason though. And I could never do I could never do the dodge. I always watch David do that game. But that is also famously too. You think you're going left, but you're really going right. I felt like in that game. Every time you think you're going somewhere, you're going the complete opposite. Oh, and the children are dead.
And then you had different counselors had different abilities, I guess.
Which was smart, actually.
One was a faster runner than the other, or whatever.
Chrissy? Was it Chrissy or something?
I mean, I did actually rent the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but after a while of just having to keep doing somersaults at Freddy and bouncing away like you're some kind of like ballet contortionist, I kind of like,
Yeah, because that game you could turn into you like threw a javelin and stuff.
And when it went into the dream world all of a sudden. So yeah, those like the Nintendo Classic. I actually had the Robbie the robot that would drop the things.
Will you be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System? The one to play with Rob, the extraordinary video robot, batteries not included. He helps you tackle even the toughest challenge. Will you be the first to raise the incredibly accurate Zapper and play games like Duck Hunt or action-packed Hogan's Alley and high-flying Kung Fu, each sold separately? Will you be the one to experience the Nintendo Entertainment System? Comes with Rob, Zapper, Control Deck, 2 controllers, Gyromite, and Duck Hunt.
Which, David, I think I realized where we got the name in our Thundercats episodes. And if you are one of our Thundercats listeners, Chitara, which is one of the female Thundercats, has a power where she spins around and gets a vision with her psychic abilities. So we kind of called it gyro. We thought it was called gyro. We called it gynomastia, but it's gyromancy. And I think Rob the Robot came with a game or something with gyro something.
I don't think he had gynomastia. I'm just saying.
He never worked, right? Did he ever work?
Pain. You had to like have it spin on this thing. He had to lift it up. He had to move it and drop it. And I love Duck Hunt. I mean, there were so many on Nintendo that I loved. Obviously, different when you go into Sega, there was different games.
We used to play Streets of Rage too. I
have to tell you, one of my all-time favorite games is the original Gauntlet.
Yes,
and I still have the original Gauntlet on somewhere in my collection.
Systems, right?
I think it's on. I'm not sure if it's on the first Xbox, but it can't be played anywhere, so it's worthless. But I loved that game too. I mean, there's so many, but those are the ones that I can think of at the top of my head. So, like, I got into the point of like watching video games more so with Ryan when he would be playing like Tomb Raider with Lara Croft and
some Resident
Evil.
Some of the later Zeldas. The last Zelda game I ever played, it was with David. It was, oh my god, the Twilight Princesses. How long ago is that? Now they have so many more Zelda games out. But I feel like you were alive and aware for the height of Nintendo.
Oh my god, I had the original Nintendo. You know how much the original Nintendo was in, like, what was it, 80 whatever? I don't even know. You have to look that up. 82, 84.
I think it was
like over $300. At that time, that was an obscene amount of money. I mean, obviously, comparatively speaking to what people are paying for like a brand new Xbox or a PS5 or whatever, which is like $500.
But it's on that level of, my god,
$300 in the early 80s versus only $425, $450 in 2024. So that should tell you how expensive. I remember buying one of the first original boomboxes with a CD player in it too.
I was just going to say that, and Rhythm Nation, right, was your first?
Janet Jackson, yeah.
So, in Japan, it was released on July 15th of 1983 as the Famicom. And then in October of 85, David, the month before I was born, the Nintendo arrived. Surprise!
I mean, and also, I mean, our family did have Atari.
Which I have no memory of, so because
that was Donkey Kong, Q*bert, Space Invaders, those type of games, like Pac-Man. I obviously loved Mrs. Pac-Man.
A few years ago, didn't the kids watch a new Pac-Man? I remember randomly you were saying they were watching a new Pac-Man, which blows my mind.
I definitely have very fond memories, and I love the fact, like, things like when Silent Hill got made into a movie,
which we are, David and I are.
Tomb Raider got made into movies, where Resident Evil, Mila Jovovich, I speak your name. I don't know how to speak to you. Did you know she had a singing career? The gentleman who fell before the calls.
I love her. Oh my god, I used to love that.
The Gentleman. She actually had another song that I don't know how many years. Electric Sky or Blue Sky or something. I actually downloaded. I support you, Mila. I support you.
Mila, come and make 7 Resident Evil out of Radical Retro. We need that.
Obviously, Legend of Zelda was made into a cartoon. Dungeons and Dragons, even though it was a fantasy game, it wasn't necessarily did Dungeons and Dragons actually get made into an actual video game? No. It was always a role-playing game.
I think they had a Nintendo game, but it wasn't.
It might have been, but that was turned into a cartoon. There's so many things, and there's so many.
Pac-Man was an 80s cartoon.
I just remember as a kid hoping that, like, my favorite cartoons would get turned into a video game, because that would be so cool. Or favorite movies, like when Friday the 13th became a video game, when Nightmare on Elm Street, things of that nature. So
this is when they had the famous Nintendo cereal, David, which was a split box. It was half half Mario, half Legend of Zelda. I remember one time in Wallbounds, which is a now defunct New York
grocery store, regional
grocery store, and there was a random box of Zelda fruit snacks, which I have no idea how long that had been on the shelves, but I remember like finding it and going, "Oh my god!" Because I knew even at that time as a young whatever I was. Oh yeah! Oh my goodness!
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. Get ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas and Troopers, the princess and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be hooked on the brothers. To the bridge.
So, David, Super Mario is huge, right? Nintendo is blowing up. What would be the most logical thing? You would make a cartoon series, I would suppose.
Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you, Peaches.
Oh, I wrote, is it supposed to be an Italian version of Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Exactly. It gave me Pee-wee's Playhouse realness. I feel like if we were in a more of a woke time when this was out, then Italian Americans, if you want to say Italian Americans, would be highly offended because of the use of the classic stereotypes. I'm surprised they didn't have a gangster mobster. Maybe they do, and later on in the episodes, a mobster coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like typical, like very like, hey, paisano, you want some pasta? Like it was like very
food orientated. So, David, it had 65 episodes. Monday through Friday. This is the Super Mario Super Show. The Super Mario games are set primarily in a fictional mushroom kingdom, typically with Mario as a playable character. And he's usually joined by his brother Luigi and often members of the Mario cast. This show, it starts live action and we get the famous theme song, which is called the Mario Brothers Rap. Now, they're saying Captain Lou Albano as Mario and Danny Wells as Luigi are the singers of this intro. I hear two young men singing this. The theme song at the end, I hear Lou Albano doing the Mario. Yeah. This is amazing because honestly, the intro is so catchy. I mean, of course it's nostalgic, but then you get this kind of like, it's supposed to be New York City, right? I guess Brooklyn. And you get like this pan of it almost looks like the Cheers opening, right? It's like this olden time, the bridge and things like that. And I want to say that they live in like, again, Pee-wee's Playhouse, but junked?
Yeah, they're supposed to be like real Guido Italiano living like plumbers that live in like this kind of like the slums, but they live how they work, I guess. You know, they're always in overalls. They live kind of in like a
they live in this. This is their life.
This is their lives. It's like if I owned a junkyard and I don't know, lived it. I don't know. I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but if they lived in a farm, they'd be like very farm. Everything would be farm related.
They would have cows decorated everywhere, right? So the original concept, David, was going to be called the Super Mario Super Hour and have cartoons where it was going to be Mario, Zelda, which we got, of course, but also Castlevania, Metroid, Double Dragon, and California games. That didn't happen, and this is what we ended up with. So right off the bat, we have Mario and Luigi, and honestly, I think they do a really good job in this. Yes, okay, they're older than what you would probably think when you're younger that Mario and Luigi would be. especially Luigi, you know, Danny Wells. From what I learned about this in research is Lou Albano did not want to take this role originally. He didn't want to shave his beard, which was his thing. He always had a beard with like a rubber band in it. And of course, famously, he was with Cyndi Lauper in multiple things, and she actually guests on this, David. To go with the Pee Wee Herman kind of thing, Elvira, Cyndi Lauper, all kinds of people show up on this show.
Do they all show up in the medicine chest?
Oh my god!
So this is the pilot episode.
It's called Neatness Counts, by the way.
They open up the episode with them kind of dogging each other for having spaghetti on themselves.
Now, what was in preparation of this episode, I literally put on the first minute because I wanted to see if it was real, you know, on YouTube, because this is available on YouTube. And I said, what did Mario just say to Luigi, to David? I sent it to David. I sent it to Rob. Luigi said something about, yeah, you got spaghetti on you, Mario. Oh, actually, this is perfect for us, David. We could do this all the time. Especially me, my God. He said something about, you got spaghetti or something on you. And David even put the captions on. And from what it sounds like, and we've had this on our Thundercats shows with throw genitals. Shout out to our bunglers. If you know, you know.
Progenitors!
Does he say F you, Luigi, as an insult back?
Time for a new day. But as we always say, neatness counts.
That's right, Mario. And by the way, a little piece of spaghetti on your overalls.
Luigi. And you have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt, as usual.
Oh, really? Your shoes are dirty.
And your socks don't match.
And you got 5 cavities.
Well, if you look at the so obviously the transcripts are not the best. YouTube's transcripts are notoriously never that great that I know of. But no. It says, you, Luigi. That's what the line, like, so if you go line by, it says, you, Luigi. Like, I actually took a screenshot of it and sent it to Ryan because...
like, YouTube knows.
Okay, so it says, you, Luigi, and you have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt, as usual. So, you, Luigi, and you have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt, as usual. There has to be something before the word you, because he's saying, blank, you, Luigi.
Yeah, because he's answering something. So that's the first, like, oh, how you doing? How you doing,
unless
Luigi?
He's saying, and you, Luigi, and you, like, it wouldn't make any sense.
Oh,
and you have a little bit, and you, Luigi, and you have a little bit, I don't know. Because it does sound like he says F you. But
oh, F you,
I mean, it is a kid's show, so I don't know.
All of a sudden, that stops the banter is they hear hello. And in true comical fashion, they go, I'm not saying hello. Who's saying hello? Did you ever guess in your life? Now, Pee-wee's Playhouse, they come, what, in the kitchen? They come to the window.
The side door. They come through the front door. They knock. You see Missy Vaughn coming. Cowboy Curtis, the Countess, the cow, come to the window.
And the matter of fact, the flowers will tell you a warning. The king of cartoons, you'll get a warning. Here, Nicole Eggert from Charles in Charge is in their medicine cabinet.
Hello?
Hello?
I didn't say hello.
I didn't either.
Well, I did. Over here. Hi, are you the Mario brothers?
Sure are.
Oh, you're Nicole Eggert. We watch your show all the time. Mario and I are your biggest fans.
What are you doing in the medicine cabinet?
Well, I'm checking the expiration date on your toothpaste. It's very important, you know. Can I come in?
Sure, come on in.
Nicole Eggert.
And she says she's looking for their expired toothpaste, David. And I said, sure, Nicole. Sure, Jan.
Stockholm Syndrome. She's helping her. They walled her up, and that the only way she could look out is through a hole in the medicine chest. Stockholm Syndrome. She identifies with her captors.
She wants to be a plumber.
She's pretending to be. She's going to be the princess just to escape Luigi and Mario.
So I will be your princess. In this list of other guest stars, which I was telling you, even what is her name? I always call her Winnie Cooper, and I could hear Rob saying her name in my head. Danica, she was on here. I'll even take her. But okay, Nicole Eggert, Mario and Luigi evidently watch her show every day. They didn't say what show, but they said they watch her show every day.
They ain't watching for Scott Baio.
And I see I want Charles in charge of me. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I see I want Charles in charge of me.
She asked if she could come in, and they say, of course. Where? I don't know where she's entering from. But she says she needs her sink unclogged, David. And they go on to show her with this random thing in the middle of their house or apartment or workspace. And they're using this thing to unclog it. And David, what happens? We get random sounds from the games, which I thought was funny. It's like, whatever, the sounds of the things. And of course, she gets sprayed and wet. And in between, to dry her off, David, we get cue the cartoon.
Well, it says right here that you two are the best plumbers in Brooklyn and quite possibly the world.
Yes, Nicole, that is absolutely true. Not only that, but we are also very, very neat and clean. In fact, what do we always say, Mario?
Hey, you slob, that's my pizza.
No. Neatness counts.
Oh, yeah.
Good. I need my kitchen sink fixed.
Certainly come to the right place. We'll demonstrate right now just how good we are with absolutely no obligation.
I really don't have much time. See, I'm on my way to a party.
But this will only take a second. Hey, as you can see here, we have a clogged sink. And it'll be fixed in a few seconds. Luigi! Dig it. I'm stuck.
Look, I really should be going.
Wait, this will only just take a few seconds.
If you stay tuned, it'll sure be neat.
I have to say that, yes, this is definitely giving me Pee-wee Playhouse realness. I have to say I enjoyed the cartooning. I thought that the actual
really
cartoon
cute.
itself, the quality of the cartoon was good. I definitely have to say that I enjoyed the use of the actual video game sounds. True video, like literally they just ripped them from the video game and put them into this. And I actually
and the soundtrack, right?
I really appreciated that. That really made this for me.
Like our motto says, the customer is always wet.
And the thing is that they usually make Mario and Luigi, even in the newest movie, that they're subpar plumbers. They're not great, but they aspire to be great plumbers one day.
They could really rescue a princess like the best of them. A matter of fact, on its original run, in the animated segments, they would have covers of popular songs. Of course, they don't got that rights no more. So if you listen to this on YouTube or if you get this on DVD, no. But they even had Huey Lewis and the News. And then they would use instrumentals, of course. So they cut to the cartoon and the voices of our cast. And in this, Princess Peach is known as Princess Toadstool. And Bowser, David, is known as King Koopa, which is both due to right issues at the time. I guess Nintendo and other things, right? So they couldn't use those names. They're like, for randomly, he says something like, I think he said Plumber's Log 001. So it's like the first cartoon of 65. Can you imagine?
Plumber's Log number 101, the land of ice. Me and my brother Luigi had just rescued Princess Toadstool from King Koopa, and we're looking for the magic that would set her kingdom free and get us home to Brooklyn.
Princess Peach or Toadstool, and she's in like a sleigh and that little toad, which I was like. And he seems to be very, in that recent movie too, he's got a very like, I guess, bold personality. But here he's really, really like Italian.
Hey, lady, don't touch me, lady.
Lady, I'm not a bear!
Everyone comes straight from Brooklyn or the Bronx.
Evidently.
And ain't Jenny from the block either. Don't say you went up that block, Jenny, because you didn't.
When I wear my hair like this, it reminds me of the block. That's what she says. So,
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. That crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams and
so anyway, Toad is pulling her in this sleigh, and they say something like, they must have just rescued her from Bowser, and they want to get home to Brooklyn, too, at the same time. So how they got in here, we don't know. I guess the pipes.
Maybe there'll be an origin story in, like, one of the episodes, because there is 60-something episodes, so hey.
Please, Mario! Toad saved my life 100 times! We've got to save his!
Don't worry, Princess. Luigi and me will climb that mountain before you can say spaghetti and meatballs. I can't! I'm allergic to mountains. Okay, wait here. And if you become lunch for Polar Bear, don't blame us. Polar Bear? Lunch?
We end up with, they call her a flying birdo, and she believes, and this voice, something about this voice, it reminded me at some points of Hampton's mother from the movie, from that.
She had a salivation problem too. She had like a speech impediment, and she drooled, and she had a very bizarre.
Mr. Magoo. She was blind, even though she had right?
She didn't. I think she lost the glasses. I don't remember.
I swear she had the glasses on too, and she's even looking at the milk carton where her baby Chibi Moon.
Yeah, it was little baby Chibi,
Sailor Moon.
So she's looking, and she thinks that the little mushroom is her child, so she steals him, and he's like, "Lady, let me go. I'm not your kid." He's like totally like talking like that, and she's like, "Oh, you're so funny, Chibi." And then she's trying to like she's kissing him, like she's like tonguing this mushroom up and salivating over him, kissing it. And he's like, "Don't touch me, lady. Get out of here. I want to get out of here. Let me go, lady."
Chibi, my darling little Chibi, give mommy a kiss.
What are you trying to do, you wacko bird? Drown me?
Mommy missed her little Chibi so much.
Mommy? You're not my mommy.
Oh, you're such a joke.
Wow!
Now, where did I put that telephone? Aha! Hello? Oh, it's the Missing Bird Bureau. You can call off the search for my missing baby. I found my little sweetums.
And she didn't recognize that, and she kept saying, "You're my Chibi."
Then she calls up the police and says, "You can call off the search." And meanwhile, Chibi is on the back of a milk carton, which was popular back in the 80s when children would go missing. They would put them on the back of a milk carton, which is the term phrase, "Keep it up and you'll end up on the back of a milk carton."
And she actually says, "It was never a good picture of you," because they're showing that it looks clearly nothing like this Toad. But he is verbally screaming at her, "I'm not your damn Chibi." I'm surprised he didn't say F you, Bardo.
So then you have King Koopa, who is trying to get back the princess, and he is in, I don't know what the word is. He is sending out various minions to do his deeds, and then he's following.
And these are I have the name for them. These are flurries, they're called. Flurries.
McFlurries?
They do this thing where they say pasta power and they leap. And he said, "You could do it too."
Keep plunging! Pasta power! Come on, princess! You can do it too!
Pasta
And whoever whoever does this Princess Peach, whatever Toadstool, sounds adorable. This actress, I just want to you are so cute, Princess Peach. She was so enthusiastic about everything,
and she is not the princess of this current new movie. She's not snarky. She's not quick-witted. She's just very gentle and kind and very storybook princess.
Yes, which I guess could be a cliche, but she comes off very endearing. I don't know, to me.
No, I'm just saying. It's just it's definitely a contrast to their. So here's the thing: if we want to really go dive deep into this, the duality between or what have you, in the new one, Mario is definitely more of a gentler, less gruff, less rough around the edges kind of person seeking acceptance, where the princess is very take charge, very in your face. It's hell no, you're not going to do this. Where in this the turn of events is, even though the Mario in this original 80s one is still kind, the guttural talking, the New Yorker, the post, the hey paisano, the whole it comes off more of a rougher sort of
very streetwise. Yeah,
even though he's nice, but you could kind of say Mario is a nice guy regardless of how you look at it. Whatever reincarnation of him, he is a nice person. He's not a mean-spirited person. But
only talking about pasta and
at least in this first episode, all they went to was cliches and stereotypes of Italian Americans, and particularly in New York City, apparently. But funny, I guess.
I'd pay $200 for a nice pepperoni cheesecake right now.
When you have Nicole Eggert in your medicine,
you have Nicole Eggert inside your medicine chest,
searching for.
We've gotten ourselves in a real mess. Stay tuned. While Mario finds something else to ruin Nicole's clothes, watch this.
There's some interesting terminology like two faucet freaks.
It's them, Princess Toadstool and those two faucet freaks. Come on, Flaky. Let's tell King Koopa so we can put him on ice for good.
I think that's very Mumra would say something like that. You two faucet freaks.
And then he has them licking his feet, the ghost
thing. This was, I watched this 3 times because I thought this was unbelievable. He says, if I wanted my feet licked, I'd tell you I want my feet licked. And then he goes, lick my feet.
Well, at last you two powder puffs did something right.
Thank you, your extremist, most royal and regal Koopiness.
Watch it, soldier. When I want my feet licked, I'll ask for it. I want my feet licked. This will be the last time those pinhead plumbers throw a monkey wrench into my evil plans. Attention, Koopa Troopers! It's airing time!
And David, you talked about the slurping. It must have been the same actor, because the slurping on these feet continued as he was even talking. And the cartoon.
And then he says, "At least you two powder pops did something right."
Lick his feet. That's between the FU and Nicole Eggert again in the medicine cabinet. I did not.
When I want my feet licked, I'll ask for it, and then it says, "I want my feet licked."
Favorite seduction?
Okay, for a guy to kiss my feet.
Awesome. All right.
If you go by YouTube's transcript, it says, "I want my feet lit."
So there you go. F you, Luigi. All of a sudden, they have these bombs fly down. They play the Mario dungeon theme, and he says he wanted a salami sandwich, and he slaps this bomb. He slapped it and it flew. And then Toad says he's a tough fungus, but again, he's got this thick... I'm a tough fungus, lady. Everyone is very, very guttural in this or whatever. Very tough.
Hey, Super Mario Brothers, Super Cupcakes.
She says to touch the flower, right? Because they get locked into this.
So there's an avalanche that gets caused by the bombs, and she says, "Oh, look, there's a flower."
Now we know because
what did he say? Something like, "I wanted some pasta." What did he say?
Everything was pasta. I wanted spaghetti and meatballs. I wanted a salami sandwich. I mean, I get it. And looking at our live actors, it looks like your Italian uncles or something. But they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be younger, honestly. I don't know. Whatever. But they're still jumping and doing things that no one could. No one could. Superpowers or not.
A fire flower!
I'm hungry enough to eat anything.
No, it's magic. If you can reach it, you can become a Super Mario and get special firepower that can destroy King Koopa's evil helpers.
That's easy. Come on, Luigi. Patty cake, pasta man. Give me pasta power as fast as you can. Pasta power! I love when that happens. Follow me!
So they're in this avalanche, and he points his finger, and his flames fly out of Mario's finger. I guess they didn't know how to. In the game, it looks like he just comes out of his body, but I'm assuming, it must be his finger,
his chi or something from his chest. Yeah, that's what it looks
like. So that flies out.
He's doing a Kamehame. He's from Dragon Ball Z.
He's Dragon Ball Z. Oh, the flurry is named Flaky, by the way. Flaky the Flurry and his partner, and then Princess Toadstool says that if she eats this, Mario will become a Super Mario.
Maybe they weren't allowed to say it.
We will say Super Mario right now. Flaky and his companion approach Mario and his friends, and they see that they survived the avalanche. And Bowser violently grabs the medals. This was the best. He had these birds, and at one point he said they did an amazing job of being heartless in this, and he gives them all medals. And then these feet-licking ghosts come. By the way, I love Bowser's even on no ski or something at one point. But he takes these medals back from these birds. Then I want to say these birds are now, they all have bombs, and they're throwing them down upon them. And who should come just in time? It's Toad and the mother. But in this whole thing, David, somehow the real Chibi, the little
So they find
Chibi,
the Chibi frozen, and the princess has Mario thaw him out with a fireball, and then he wants his mom, which is very sweet.
Who called me cheap? I'll pay $300.
Look!
What is that thing?
It's a baby birdo, Luigi, and it needs our help. It's frozen inside the ice.
Stand back.
Mommy! Little Chibi wants Mommy! Do you think his mommy is the one who took Toad?
Oh, that's what it is, David. Right, because Toad says, I'm not going back up that mountain to... The little thing is crying. It's so sad. So he goes up, and then he comes back with the flying birdo, and they throw down carrots and turnips and things like that. And they are reunited, because there was this one point when she was doing flying lessons, and he was screaming, I'm not a fly.
I don't have wings.
She was flying down. That was crazy.
Cheapy lady, I don't have wings. Look, no wings, no feathers. I'm just a mushroom that can't stand heights.
Oh, Cheapy, you're such a teaser.
Bowser also calls them scum scrubbies.
Oof.
It's all over, scum scrubbies.
Don't worry, Mario. We'll beat him without superpowers.
It's too late, princess. They got us surrendered.
It's all over, scum scrubbers. Who threw that vegetable?
We did.
Retreat! Retreat!
Come on, sweeties. We've got to make the world safe for a little Cheapy. Let's get those insects.
To be a writer, David, of an 80s cartoon villain, right? You could just think of the most crazy, obscure terms and call people that. So then there's this wonderful wrap up where the giant birdo is so thankful that Mario, Luigi, and the princess saved her baby, that they're staying for dinner. And she says she cooked him, but it's an uncooked worm. And of course, David, he wanted spaghetti! And they all run out, right? And the worm is offended. The worm is offended.
The worm is a vampire. No.
I cooked this just for you, Mario. My favorite recipe?
My favorite dish, spaghetti.
Spaghetti? We're not spaghetti. We're worms.
Worms?
I've never been so insulted in my whole life.
So we cut back, by the way, back to Nicole, Mario and Luigi, and she's a mess. And more random crap falls upon her.
They're dropping stuff. They're apologizing. They're saying that they will clean her.
Oh, Nicole, I'm so sorry. This never, ever happened before.
Oh, yeah? What about the time when we drenched the mailman?
No, sit. So why don't you come up here and stay by the furnace? It's nice and warm. It'll dry you off. I'll move the cake.
Somewhere and why there is a birthday cake sitting on a chair, and then Luigi wants Nicole to sit down, I guess, or he doesn't want her tripping over this, so he decides to put the cake on the floor.
And then later on, though, this is after, by the way, they do because their Fridays were special, Radical Ones. On Friday, you got a Legend of Zelda cartoon, and this is where they say, well, we're trying to clean up Nicole. Maybe she wants to watch a preview of Link and the Legend of Zelda on Friday. Okay.
I'm sorry. It does that once in a while.
Oh, Nicole, this is terrible. Come over here. Ha ha! What's having a birthday? I'm only kidding. This is terrible. Come over here. Oh, gosh, this is terrible. Oh, have a seat. No. Oh, Nicole, come over here. I'll get the chair clean. Over there.
Terrible.
Yeah, but somehow on her it looks good. What are you looking for?
Something to clean the coal up with. Here you go.
A lint brush? You have any great ideas?
Yeah, how about showing us some scenes for the next Legend of Zelda?
And you get the theme, you get all that, and you get to see for the first time, like David said earlier, excuse me, princess.
This is the Triforce of Wisdom, Link. The evil wizard Ganon has the Triforce of Power. Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever. You must help me, Link.
Hey, for you, Zelda, anything.
Move it, you boneheads! Get us out of here!
Whoa! Toasty! Eat dirt, Ganon!
Get them now!
Nice job, hero.
Hey! Excuse me, princess.
They get a lot of heat from this cartoon because of Link's portrayal, but, you know, I guess they didn't know what to do with personalities, and not everyone can be, I guess, chivalrous and whatever.
Chivalrous?
Chivalrous?
Chivalrous.
Chivalrous.
Not chivalrous.
Chivalrous. Shiva, the Lord help me. So they gave him this personality of like a hero that just wants to get a kiss. I mean, it's not thrilling, but I like that.
Ganon was pretty scary for that.
Yes, and that voice Ganon has too.
Yeah, that angry little pig, that little ham hock.
At one point, I'm sure we'll definitely talk about that cartoon.
Angry javelina.
He is angry all the time. But again, another princess, and in that, she didn't have to be rescued, which was great, Zelda. She was fighting along with him. So, David, you mentioned this random birthday cake. They're trying to dry Nicole off in this like a furnace, a giant furnace in their apartment,
which then spits out dust and dirt and smoke into her, which makes her face get all dirty. And then they're like, "Oh, Nicole, oh," and then they make a step on this cake.
But why is Mario, like you said, why he actually brings it over at one point? He's randomly it's a half-eaten birthday cake, like you said.
I don't know. And then Nicole tells them that they're like, we'll give you free plumbing for the rest of your life, and we'll do this, and we'll send us the clean. And Luigi seems to be the more refined. He's like, please, we'll send us your cleaning bill or whatever. And
yeah.
Your dry cleaning bill or something. And then she's like, no, you don't understand. This is perfect. I'm going to a messy party or something.
That's right, David, because she had to go to a party the whole time. We forgot to mention that.
And the messiest person wins. So then they end up smearing her whole body down with cake, which I kind of was a little creepy considering.
They're like, well, in that case,
she looked like a 12-year-old girl in this, but I mean, I know
she's like, why did I come to this? Why did my manager send me to the Mario Brothers?
We'll pay for everything.
No, don't worry about it.
Oh, please, Nicole, we'll do all your plumbing for free.
No, really, it's okay.
We'll make you free pizza. Yeah, we'll wash your clothes. We'll make your bed. We'll brush your teeth.
Boys, I told you not to worry about it. See, actually, this is perfect.
It is?
Yeah, remember I was telling you I was going to a party?
Yeah.
Well, it's a sloppy party. See, the person who dresses the sloppiest wins. You saved me a trip of picking up a costume. The sloppier, the better.
Really?
Really?
Well, in that case...
Stay tuned. The Sloppy Mario Brothers will return.
I have a question for you before we do any sort of wrap up on this. Do you think this totally does follow a Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse?
Yes.
Do you think that this was successful or stayed on as for as long as it did because they just pushed it because they had the money, because it was Super Mario Brothers? Was it because people enjoyed the kind of Pee Wee's Herman setup because the cartoon was really good? What's your thought on this?
Okay, so it evidently was a hit. It was a hit. Besides the critics, it was well received by fans, Nintendo fans. And David, it did air from September 4th to December 1st of 1989. But the only reason it was canceled was because Super Mario Brothers 3 was coming out, and Deke, it's our friend Deke. Deke decided that it was cheaper just to do just a cartoon version, and they revamped it. There's no Lou Albano, and there's actually a which I had never realized, there's a Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon, and then a year later, Super Mario World. I had no idea there was 2 other Mario Brothers cartoons. And then, David, when this show went into syndication, it was called Club Mario, and it went from 1990 to 1991. And David, what they did was they took out all of the live action scenes and they reshot it with cool teenagers, and they just went to the cartoons and had nothing with Mario, which was weird. I think that's part of the charm, is having Lou Albano as Mario and doing this stuff. So also some errors from today's episode. We like to do this on Thundercats. It says, oddly, Princess Toadstool explains that the fire flowers affect to Mario, yet when he transforms, he exclaims, "I love it when that happens," meaning that he had used a fire flower before. Okay. Mario's transformation state is referred to as Super Mario. The correct name would be Fire Mario. Okay. When the Birdo lands on her house, there's a purple book sitting on the table, and the next scene it is orange. When Luigi asks, "What is that thing?" Princess Toadstool's mouth is still moving. I didn't know that. When Toad says he's got 10 gold coins, the Birdo's mouth is still moving. Okay, so a lot of animation things.
I just thought she was salivating a lot. You know, she's crazy.
So, David, I think this is really endearing. I think it's really fun. And I always think of, there's this show was famous for PSAs, of course, at the time. We always talk about them with He-Man and She-Ra and things like, and even with Thundercats. Did you ever see this one where it's him as Mario, Captain Lou Albano, and he goes, "If you take drugs, you go to hell before you die." It's like a famous thing that, and he's really serious, like at the camera too, and he's like, "You take drugs, you go to hell before you die."
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
It's amazing.
Well, that the 80s brought us so many things. They brought us Nancy Reagan. Just say no to drugs. They gave us Dare.
They brought us Dare.
It brought us the famous this is your brain on drugs. Any questions? Which I told you I loved the reboot of that commercial. You remember that?
Oh yeah, this was a few years ago.
So it was like, this is your brain. It was like, this is your brain on drugs, and it's sizzling in the pan. This is any questions. But then they did a reboot of that, and then it was like something I would probably have done if I was doing this commercial. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. And then she's like, and this is your life, and this is your family, and they're smashing up the whole kitchen. This is this is your family. This is your and to me, that was actually more powerful, I guess. In the sense of what it was.
You're seeing the other repercussions as opposed to just the egg frying. But what about that? Also, I to this day remember that snake one. You know, the one where the guy is slowly becoming the snake, and I'm your friend, and then he starts as like a man, and then by the end,
I think so. I too, yeah,
he turns into a snake, and it's terrifying.
Well, it worked, right? For some people, like, you know, we laugh about it now, how silly and how just say no to drugs, and
have Grace Jones come out and say that. No, I'm just she probably just.
Oh my God! Let's not talk about. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? It's 10 o'clock.
I love that.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
And she's dressed with her head covered, wearing a boa.
You have just a bizarre group of people that, like, you're like
Nicole Eggert.
No, it wasn't. It was like totally different. Andy Warhol.
Yes, Andy Warhol. I saw that one.
What? They're probably out doing drugs with you, Andy.
I was going to say Andy Grace. They're all at Studio 54. Someone went, "Come on, I need to film some PSA."
Someone said this is when children were feral, apparently, because you don't know where your children are at 10. Your young children are at 10 p.m. Do we really even know what that's really about when someone says that it's 10 p.m.?
No,
Do you know where
I always thought it meant are your children home?
Well, right, but like 10 p.m.
Yeah, I would hope to.
Oh my God, this is 2024, and my children are in bed. I'm trying to make. I mean, they never get into the bed, but I try to get them going to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, sleeping. I want them in bed.
My kind of bed. Oh, I love that. Get me in at 8 o'clock.
Well, that's because I got to watch True Blood or whatever else I'm trying to anyway, until they knock on the door a million times and never go to sleep. But my point is,
10 o'clock.
I know where my children are way before 10 o'clock.
Evidently, Grace Jones has to ask. People didn't know where their children are. It takes Grace Jones and Andy Warhol.
I don't know. What's your takeaway from all of it? You said it was endearing. I thought it was endearing too. I liked the cartoon itself. Yes. I thought it was fun. I loved like I said, I loved the use of the actual music and the score and the sound from the actual
That's what you
video
want.
Game.
Yeah,
totally.
Like
I don't want anything. And I loved the whole Pee-wee's Playhouse thing. I just thought it was a little odd. It was a little. I hope they didn't say Paisano. Hey, Paisano, I want spaghetti for the next 63 episodes.
You know it did. They at this point, Mario, I don't think had a personality, so they really went deep on the Italian and the food. And they made Link a narcissist. The man doesn't even speak. He still hasn't. He's never spoken in the game. That's why Nintendo is punishing him. Oh, David, we are getting a Legend of Zelda movie, which is actually coming out. And the person is a huge fan, and he said he will not disappoint. Well, we've heard that before.
Do we know who the actors are going to be?
I feel like they're going to do a hybrid. I think everyone's doing these hybrids of like CGI,
like you think they're going to do like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I always compare stuff because I really enjoyed it, like Into the Spider-Verse, like that sort of cartooning. Yes.
He said it's not going to be, which I thought you were going to say, it's not going to be Lord of the Rings, because he said Lord of the Rings is its own thing. This is Legend of Zelda.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Avatar, because you have live, but is it like an Avatar? Is it going to be like a Lord of the Rings? Is it going to be like Into the Spider-Verse?
maybe this will be the template for our Thundercats when that finally gets made and we become rich and famous. So honestly, David, in the future, I would like to return with this because there is a Halloween episode with Frankenstein, Elvira. We have some movies coming up. I can't wait to do Silent Hill because...
Silent Hill!
I have us technically scheduled to do Silent Hill 2, which I don't think either one of us has seen, which is a continuation.
Is that when the dad is well, I mean, I want to...
Supposedly... Oh, well, maybe you did see it. Oh. But they are making another Silent Hill movie, so we're right on cue.
Are they going to do that Missy Elliott dance?
That what happened. Yes. Oh my God, we'll have to tell that story. So Radical Ones, we hope you are enjoying our video game summer. Check us out on Instagram. We are always updating that. And please, Radical Ones, if you have time, we would love a review. We are still stuck below 20. And I always say we're going on that 5th season in October, 5th year of our show.
I mean, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, follow us. Anything that you can do to help the podcast would be great. We really appreciate it. It also lets us know that you're enjoying the content that we do produce. And if you have any ideas, questions, something you'd like us to talk about, something you want us to answer, any questions.
Yes.
I love the community that we have. I love the people that do communicate. We have regulars. Like Thundercats is a big thing for our podcast.
Yeah.
It became like a really big thing. We have a really great following and group of people that literally religiously listen and participate in the conversation with us. So I think that that's really great, and we always have a great time and responding to them. So if you like what you're hearing, or if you say, hey, it's early in the season, can you slip in such and such a movie? I mean, Wes, we'll try to make it happen. We're pretty flexible like that. We have our idea of what we want to do, and the summer can extend another week or two, you know what I mean? So even if we want to add another movie on or do something, we can always play around if that's something that you're interested in. But we won't know that unless you actually talk to us and tell us. Communicate.
Talk to us. Show up in a medicine cabinet.
I want pasta. You can talk to us. You talk to me. We'll have some coffee. We'll have some cannolis and coffee. We'll go over the Brooklyn Bridge. You and Nicole Eggert.
One of these guest stars was listed as Obi-Wan Cannoli. So I think they did go for a
Obi-Wan Cannoli. Well, you know what? If you are a lover of Italian pastries and delicacies, a good cannoli is a good cannoli. Holy cannoli.
I'm going to help you. You are the only hope. So you can always reach David at Universal Appeal 2020, all one word, and the Radical Retro Rewind Podcast, one word, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and beyond. Give us a review and we will be so thrilled. And honestly, David, I've been looking into things. I think we're going to do contests. We're going to launch our merch. We're going to go full force and take over the world, or at least
I'm going to have to release that sex tape that I didn't want to have to do. I already called Kim K's. I already called Chris about it to see how I should distribute it.
Oh my God, don't tempt people. Maybe that will get us some calls.
Look at us banned.
All of a sudden we'll get some now we got some reviews. So yeah, look out for that. and stay tuned for a jam-packed summer of video game movies and beyond. Until next time, David. Goodbye.
Keep gaming.
Till next time, everybody, do the Mario! Do the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario. Do the Mario. Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now. Come on now, just like that.